100 episodes. Welcome, friends. Can you believe this is episode 100? Let that sink in. When I started this podcast, I never dreamed that we would make it here. And yet here we are together. I'm so grateful to you for listening, for sharing your time with me, and for walking this journey alongside me. When I first had the idea to create a podcast, I remember feeling as though it was something I wanted to create. And I remember talking to my coach at the time and telling her that even if no one listens, it's still something I believe I want to put forth into the world. And I remember that I had this idea. I decided to go for it. I didn't know what the heck to do or how to do it, but I figured how hard could it be? And I was flying out to one of the summer dance conferences a few years ago. When I was at the airport, my flight, of course, got delayed because it was heading to Chicago. And I ended up in the United Lounge. And I just had hours upon hours of time to myself. And I wrote out the first 52 episode topics. I just used like the notes section in my phone and I created a whole year's worth of episodes. And I remember early on, my podcast editor said, most podcasts don't even make it to like the fifth episode. And when he told me that, I said, "Oh my gosh, that cannot be me. Abandoning this project because it's just too much, too difficult, too hard, too much work." That just could not be. That I refused for that to be. Once I heard that your average podcast does not last beyond 5 episodes, I just knew that I was going to go for it and I was going to go for it full in. I was going to do weekly episodes and I was not going to stop until I believed that was the right decision for me. I wasn't going to just let it fizzle out. One of the things that I came across was just a glimmer of inspiration. It was just that. It was, I enjoyed watching videos, but I really loved podcasts, right? Like I've seen lots of webinars and online trainings and stuff, but there's something about podcasts that resonated with me. I enjoy listening to marriage podcasts, business podcasts, marketing podcasts, you name it. And I just really felt like I wanted to have a voice on this particular platform. And the hardest part is making the decision. Making the decision is so difficult because the word decide, D-E, and then side means to cut off or to kill or destroy, right? And when we do that, it's hard because we are literally cutting off all other options, right? Once you are a podcaster, in my mind, you are now a podcaster and you're cutting off these other options of not being a podcaster or maybe not pursuing other projects that you were going to potentially work on, right? And when we make that decision, that is the first step, the first action step that we make. Oftentimes, I hear so many of us who are entrepreneurs, studio owners say, "I always wanted to do this. I had this idea to do that. I really would love to do this. I've kind of thought about this thing," or I thought, and I just had this passing vision of something else, something different, something I might like to do. And we might just decide that we're going to dismiss it, or we might decide to pursue it and give it a go. If you have been listening for a while, you might remember back in 2024, I said that that was my year of implementation. If I came across an idea, I challenged myself to take action. If I came across an idea to talk to someone and ask if they would be on the podcast, then I forced myself to reach out to them and contact them to get them on the podcast. And I got to tell you, friends, the fear of rejection is high. There's so many things and so many people that I've tried to talk to. And for me, my fear of rejection was definitely there. But I will say that of everyone I've asked to be on the podcast with me, I've only had one person not respond out of all my guests. I am so proud of the fact that I took a chance and reached out to them because the results were far greater than what my mind would have concocted on its own. So, along the way, there have been surprises. There's been connections I've made, the people I've met, the opportunities that opened up because of this one small choice. And there's been lessons too. You don't have to have it all figured out to start. The growth comes from steady, faithful steps, not from waiting for perfect timing. And courage looks a lot like taking one small step, even when fear is standing right beside you. So, as I celebrate this milestone with you, I want to turn the question back to you. What small idea have you been ignoring? What spark of inspiration has been knocking at the door of your heart? What if? What if instead of talking yourself out of it, you allowed it to live, even just a little? Maybe, just maybe, the next big thing in your life is waiting on you to say yes to a small idea. Thank you for being here for 100 episodes. It truly means the world to me, and I cannot wait to see what the next 100 will bring for you and for me. I wish you all the best. Take care.